welcome everyone to Tech Talk. As Maggie was letting us all know, that today we're going to be discussing Envision Ally, and we called it Discover Envision Ally, which actually I've known for quite some time. Again, for anyone, any newcomers or anyone who's been here before, I'm Brian Walensky. I'm the Chief Technology Officer here at Lighthouse Guild. And by training, I'm an optometrist who practiced low vision optometry with an emphasis in technology use. And throughout this Tech Talk webinar series, really our goal is to educate individuals on assistive technology for people who are blind or visually impaired. And these are through technology tutorials, expert speakers, and guests as we have today, which I'm excited about. And most importantly, all of you attending here and the users of assistive technology, because we're all here together to learn. Just a quick reminder that closed captioning is available. It's turned on, so you just need to turn it on in your accessibility settings if you need it. One important thing to remember is that each and every person's vision loss is unique to them, and so is the technology that someone uses. So it's important that we explore these options and finding out what's best for you. So today we wanted to get a clear understanding of what's going on and what is Envision and what's the new buzz with AI, the AI assistant called Ally. Its unique features, discuss use cases, and Ally's future direction, which we'll discuss as well, and also how does it compare to all these other AIs that are out there. So I'm joined here today by Chanel Matos, volunteer here at Lighthouse Guild, an assistant technology expert from her extensive use of assistive technology, both as a low vision user and also as a blind blind technology user. So hello, Chanel.
Hello, I'm so excited to be back. We've been doing this a little while now. We've done Envision before, but I'm so excited about this particular one because, things have been moving and shaking, and I'm really excited to have people here to talk about it.
Exactly. And we do want to introduce our special guest today. We have CEO Karthik. Hello, Karthik. Thank you for being here.
Hey, hi Brian, hi Ashana. It's a pleasure to be here, and yeah, excited to explore everything that we've been doing with all of you here.
Great. And Karthik has been here to visit us at Lighthouse Guild a few years back. And we'll also have here, as well as a friend of Lighthouse Guild, is their sales manager, Bob Rame, who was here for one of our events also about 2 years ago. Welcome, Bob. Bob, if you could just put on your...
How about now?
We got you.
Very good. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Chanel, and the group for inviting us here. And I look forward to sharing the new developments with Ally and Envision.
Definitely. And last time we did a talk actually was 2023. We did a tech talk just like we're doing now, and we did a workshop last June. We seem to do it in June, but this year we're a bit early in April, which is good. And there's been some big changes. I know that there was the launch of Ally, and we'll get into that at CSUN in 2025. But Karthik, why don't we give everybody just kind of an overview of, what is Envision? What is the Envision company, and where are you guys, and what have you been up to?
Yes, of course. So Envision is a company that we started. It's been about 8 years, and we started as a company to build a products that improve independence for people who are blind or have a low vision. Started out as a smartphone application. This was back in 2018, and this was in like an era when AI was still simple as compared to the kind of technology that we have today. But we started out as an application on your phone with which you can take images of things, and we describe what's in those images. And it used to help people to read text. It used to help people to get a description of the environment around them, or help them look for a particular object or a person. And through the years, we sort of then evolved into being able to integrate this technology with the smart glass. We did that in partnership with like Google, and we call that your product Envision glasses. And Envision glasses are like the world's most accessible pair of your smart glasses that can enable a blind or a low vision user access to different kind of information around them, all in a hands-free and intuitive way. So it has the same features as the app in terms of like reading text, recognizing your faces, and you're getting very accurate descriptions of your environment. But the way it has been designed to be very easy to use, to be very intuitive and unobtrusive, that's what really sets it apart as a very like unique device in this space. So the Envision app and Envision glasses were the two main product of Envision that we've been working on. And your Ally is sort of the next evolution in that space, where Ally is basically, so the way we had all your features implemented in the Envision app and the glasses, if you really sort of think about that application, it was basically an application which was like a Swiss knife, right? So there was a tool in there to help you read text. There was a tool in there that will help you look for an object. There was a tool in there that will help you give a description of a scene. And all these were individual tools and your function that you have to open, and they sort of just do that one thing well. Well, what we've done now, because of the advancement that we have had in the field of artificial intelligence and language or models, now we have sort of abstracted away all of these tools into a background and offered people with a simple conversational interface, where all you need to do is simply ask a question, and we have our AI, which is called Ally, which will figure out which tool to use in order to answer a question that you're asking, and just pick that tool, use it, and just offer you the answer directly, right? Let me maybe talk about an example to help clarify this evolution. So, for example, in the Envision app, if you want to scan a menu and figure out how much is a cappuccino, right? You have to open up the app. You have to open this feature called scan text. It will scan the edges of a document. It will take a picture. It will process the whole document, and it will give you the entire your output of the text. And then you scroll through the text until you reach the the part which has the price of the cappuccino. Well, with Ally, you can simply hold up the menu and ask Ally how much is the cappuccino. And Ally will do those exact same steps, but without you having to do all of them. It will sort of do all of this in the background, and it will just come back to you with an answer to how much is the cappuccino. And it will do all of that in under 2 seconds. So a task that used to earlier take you between 30 to 40 seconds is now possible in under 2 seconds. So you have access to information at a much faster rate with Ally as what you used to have. So I think that is where the big evolution and leap forward has been. So I would like people to think of Ally as sort of your artificial, your virtual, your friend who is always available to answer your call. And you can just make a call and just ask any sort of a question that you have. And then Ally goes out and figures out what's the best way to answer that for you, right? And this is not just limited to image-based questions. Of course, that's what we sort of have optimized it for. So you can ask it for what's in your front of me, how much is the cappuccino, is there a staircase here, or do you see any obstacles in my path? You can, of course, ask it all of those things. And then your Ally will sort of open up the camera, which is a tool it has, and take a picture and offer you like an answer. But in addition to a camera, Ally also has other tools at its disposal. For example, Ally has the ability to do like a web search. So if you want to know, like, hey, when is the next like baseball a game in New York, your Ally will be able to do a web search and come back to you with an answer for exactly when the next game is, right? Or you can ask it and for information about something like do I need to take my umbrella with me today? And then Ally will first access your location, and then it will do like a weather check of if there is a chances of your rain in your location today, and then come back to you with the answer if you need to take your umbrella with you or not, right? In the same sense, it can also take a look at your agenda. So if you offer Ally access to the calendar of your phone, you can simply ask Ally, like, hey, like, what am I doing your next week on a Tuesday, right? And it'll be like, hey, this is the agenda for the day. So it has access to all of these different tools and the intelligence to both understand the intent behind your question and go ahead and answer all of these questions to you in the fastest and easiest way possible.
And I do want to get more into that, but so Ally, just so we all know, is basically Envision's artificial intelligence, right? And I know Chanel, you've used it, right?
Yes, I have. Actually, I've been a beta user for a while, so I might be a little ahead of everybody at this point. But I really, really enjoy it. I have so much fun talking with it, and the personalities are entertaining, if nothing else.
Now it's available as an app, right, on both iOS and Android. Am I correct?
So it's available on iOS, Android, the web, and the glasses. We sort of
Got
are
it. And the
available on 4
glasses, which is
platforms.
important, the smart glasses, right?
Yeah.
So it's available
And the
on all.
amazing
Go
And the
ahead.
amazing part is it sort of just syncs across all of your platforms. So what Chanel was mentioning is that when you use Ally, you sort of build a personality of your ally, right? So you can sort of define how you want your ally to be. Do you want it to have a sense of humor? Do you want it to be straightforward and to the point? And it can also, you remember stuff about you, right? So it remembers stuff you like, stuff you don't like. And because it's available across these platforms, you can sort of, you can add all of these, your preferences on your iOS app. But when you're in front of a computer, you can open up Ally on the web, and it will still have the same the personalities and recognitions of things that you like that you had inputted in your phone.
So I know Chanel asked this question too, and there's so many different AIs out there these days. We're using all different ones. So you had a good question, Chanel, about differences, right?
Yes.
We were talking about this earlier today.
Yes, so I was looking up questions that a lot of people were wanting to know. What is the difference between Ally and ChatGPT, and why would we pick using Ally over it when ChatGPT is so mainstream and everyone's pushing it?
I think sort of ChatGPT is sort of a function that Ally offers, right? I think the best way to think of Ally is as an agent. So it's not the AI. So we don't develop the AI, your sort of component of it by ourselves, right? But what we do is we sort of fine tune it and make it a vertically the best for our a vertical, which is you're making it the most accessible assistant that's out there. And underneath this, we do use your chat GPT for a lot of the tasks, right? For example, when it comes to you sort of getting a description of an image, as of now, we use your chat GPT's your API to offer you that a description of image. But at the same time, if you want to know, do I need my umbrella with me today? Then we make a call to like a weather API. We do like a check of your location. And that's now a different tool that ChatGPT does not have access to. And we have to go to someone else to sort of like bring that tool in, right? Or when we have to access your agenda or the calendar, and that's not access that we get through ChatGPT, but we sort of use a different tool to access it. So I think the best way to think about ChatGPT different from something like Ally is an agent which has access to a whole bunch of tools, including your ChatGPT. So you can ask whatever you can ask to ChatGPT to Ally as well, but also do all of these additional things. And one of the advantages is that because all of these your companies are developing their models so quickly and so well, is that we will always pick and choose whichever is the best LLM or your model out there for you, right? For example, we have had pretty good experience with the Claude, which is another a model from Anthropic, which does like a much better job at understanding your graphs and and like tables or any sort of your scientific kind of data as compared to ChatGPT. So now when you're asking a question to Ally about something like that, then we will use the Claude's API instead of ChatGPT's API, because we know that, okay, this is a superior API when it comes to giving descriptions of certain things. Or for example, when you want to get a recognition of a person's face, right? So now your ChatGPT has built the guardrails that sort of you're prevented from giving a good description of a person's face. So there we have the liberty to use a different model from a different like source to be able to offer that. I think that's where the differentiation lies. So Envision, so your Ally itself is not the one that's building these foundational models, but we're building the agent that can access all these different models to make sure that you have the best accessibility experience on Ally.
So if I understand correctly, basically Ally is like playing with Legos. You guys have basically taken all the different pieces and just compiled it into something that is the most user friendly for us.
Exactly, exactly. So it uses your ChatGPT, but all the other amazing AI tools that are also now enabled because of it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And getting into use, because not only does Bob do, works for the company, but Bob, you're using the device. So maybe you want to give us some examples of, best case uses and how you've been using Ally and even just the Envision glasses and the Envision app and the difference between the two.
Sure. With Envision, we do, use the primary apps are on a smartphone. And as we said, it's on Android or Apple. And there's 3 apps that are out there for our users. We've got the Envision AI app, which is our dashboard for the glasses. And then we have Ally right now, which is a separate app that is the agent to go out and do these tasks for the user by asking. And then we have Companion, which is our video chat app that is available for sighted users to basically be able to receive calls from people that are utilizing the Envision glasses. So with those 3 apps, we do have quite a great solution for the blind and visually impaired marketplace, because we've been building all these things to be very accessible and to provide solutions for people who are blind and visually impaired. Whereas a lot of the other apps that are out there, like we were talking before, are designed more for mainstream, and people will find that there are little glitches and things that make them a little more difficult to use. Whereas with our solutions, we're trying to make it as easily accessible as possible. And me being a blind user, I really feel like a moth to flame in that I can use a verbal interface with Envision. So with the invention of AI and Ally, I can simply talk in a conversational sense, as Kartik was saying, whereas many of the other apps, you've got to first of all set it up and use different programs. But with our verbal interface, basically it's really simple. You just push a button to talk, either on the glasses or on the app or on your PC, and the agent will listen and follow the instructions that you've asked, and because it understands the intent. So again, since I'm a blind user, I really use the glasses, which Ally is a part of, and it's layered and layered with artificial intelligence. And for those out there that are still scratching their heads on what AI is simply teaching computers how to act like a human. And think of AI as a big baby with a diaper on, and we're constantly trying to teach it how to eat and how to crawl and how to walk. And eventually it will help us more and more and more. So as we use it, we're actually teaching it and making it better. And with all the AI that it's available with Envision, it's like having your own little digital assistant person on your shoulder there to help you. So specifically recently, as Brian asked me to talk about as a use case example, a family member happened to be in the hospital, and I was the only family member nearby to help. And so I got a call to go down to the hospital. They were in the emergency room. And say a year or so ago, I would have been pretty scared to and not have too much confidence for me to be able to jump in a taxi or an Uber and go down to that hospital and be able to be of aid to my family member who is in the hospital. But with the Envision system on the phone and on the glasses, I felt I had the confidence to be able to go down there and be able to navigate when I was there to be able to read documents and help patient, my family member, navigate the healthcare system. And if anybody's been in a hospital lately, they realize how crazy it can be. And for a blind person to try to help an injured person through that is pretty scary. So when I got basically to the hospital, I used the companion feature of the glasses to make a call to a family member that was 1,000 miles away. And they were able to help me find the emergency room and get through the lobby and get to the emergency room desk and be able to talk to the receptionist and say who I am. And that video conferencing and companion was incredible. So not only do I have a lot of technology built in to the glasses, but I can always ask for remote help with Envision through that video companion app. So basically they were looking through the camera of my glasses. I was able to walk around hands-free, and they were able to talk to me to help guide me, and I was able to talk to them for confirmation.
Bob, maybe you want to just describe the glasses that you're wearing,
Okay.
so that way people know what it is, because
Sure.
it's that pair, because it's Google Glass, it's pretty light, but maybe you describe it.
Yeah, it's about 3.5 ounces, and it does sit over your right ear. And reason why we call them glasses is because the device is held on to one's face, basically with what a person would have a glass. And what I have on right now, for those who might be able to see me, are lens-free wire frames. It just has a nose bridge and a left temple arm, basically to keep the device on my head, so it's hands-free. And the camera is over in the right front of what we call the glasses. So it's very comfortable, very light. It's not, they've had so many new introductions in the marketplace, a lot of helmets, a lot of goggles, a lot of things that are may not be comfortable to some people, but these are extremely lightweight. And at times, in fact, when I'm in a hurry, I'll be saying to myself, what did I do with my glasses? What did I do? But I have them on. That's how imperceptible they are. But it's quite amazing, the power of the glasses. It rivals the most expensive smartphones as far as internally the memory, the processing, the chips. It's literally a computer on the side of your head with a camera and a speaker and a microphone, so you can talk to the device. It talks back to you, and it even has a small display that's people with very low vision that they can see up close. They can see some cues on the display to help them out as well. But it's not a magnification device. It's basically a speech-oriented device. So for people that have or low functioning partial sight individuals or blind individuals, it's a fantastic device to provide them with tools to get around their sight loss. But getting back to my actual recent use case scenario in the hospital, once I was escorted to the emergency room, my family member was unconscious, and they left me alone. And I was like, what about you? It's typical what happens in a hospital. You have lots of time to wait. So I basically called up Ally for my glasses, and I basically asked Ally what's in front of me. And so it gave me a lowdown of the description of the bed and what was next to her as far as all the sensors and meters that were beeping. And I was able to see with the glasses, or have the glasses tell me about the whiteboard that was there with all the patient notes on it. And with the glasses, I was able to basically turn the reading feature on after Ally told me where it was. And it was actually I was able to read everything on the whiteboard, and parts of it, in fact, a lot of it was in handwriting. So it was amazing to me that, here I am coming in, just flying by the seat of my pants, and here are the glasses basically helping me know where things were in the room, what the whiteboard was saying about the condition, about what she was there for, and all the attending physician's name, nurse's name, all that stuff. And then I was able to actually go over to the blood pressure and all the other meters, and actually be able to use the glasses to have it describe to me what was on the display, her blood pressure, her pulse, her all that stuff, all there while she was unconscious. So it was quite amazing that I was able to function effectively in the situation where alone in a hospital room with an injured family member and being able to get that information just by talking to the device.
And you
So
bring up a good thing, Bob, talking about all the medical information. And I'm going to come back to you, Karthik, on something. And I know at Chanel, we discuss this a lot as well as things being accurate with AI. Because, and Bob, I know, I do know the story, and I do hope everything else is better now. I know it is getting better. So, but that's a scary situation that you're in something of unknown, and a technology can help you. But we also have to understand that AI sometimes is not always right and can hallucinate. Do you want to get into that, Karthik, a second, just about AI in general? Just we can't, we need to hear, yep, put on your,
Sorry. uh, yeah, so that's again sort of going back to the point of like using different kinds of AI tools to sort of answer different kinds of questions, right? I think that's super important. So, for example, if you just use like a language or model like a chat GPT or something like that, and ask it to to like read things, there is a lot of hallucination that it will do because these models are not trained specifically to read text, right? Especially if it's dense text, if it's like handwritten text, or if it's like small text, that's not what they are trained to do. So they will do a phenomenal job in explaining a surrounding, explaining objects, but when it comes to a reading text, that's when you will see your hallucinations a lot. And maybe just to explain hallucination is when these AI models will just make up things, right? For example, sometimes when you ask your chat GPT to read a menu, it will make up dishes that are not even on the menu because it sort of has been trained on what it thinks is a menu. It will sort of invent a dishes for you, and that could be very misleading, right? So in order to avoid that, what we at Ally do is whenever you're trying to scan something, when you're trying to read something, we actually first do an OCR, right? So we do optical character recognition, where we first recognize the text, which is now a reliable technology. That's the kind of technology that has existed for a while. So we very reliably get the text output, and then we use LLM on top of the text output. Then there is no instance of hallucination, because instead of ChatGPT looking at an image and offering you answers, it's actually looking at a piece of text and offering you answers. And that's how you can offer a bit more of a reliability in those instances. But so that being said, even though the results are fairly accurate, I would still, and that's something that we sort of do put a disclaimers on as in when we can, is that at the end of the day, it is still AI. So it's still something that could make mistakes. So we always urge our users to also use their own sort of common sense to to ask it the right thing. So if you are, so for example, you should not ask it about if your medications that you're about to take are the right medications or not, right? Those are the kind of questions you should avoid, and we sort of don't encourage people to do that. But yeah, if you're looking for a cappuccino on a menu, of course, Ally will do a great job. But if it's a sensitive information, if it's something that could be a life-threatening, if you don't get it right, please always look for a more reliable source of verification.
we talk about is privacy, right? Chanel, we talk about what? Looking at certain documents.
Absolutely. One of the big things with, chat GPT and things like that is we always worry, where's our information going, right? Because we're constantly telling everyone, everything we put into chat GPT is training AI. So if it's training AI, where is that information going and who has access to it? And so a big question that we all have for Ally is, since you are using all these building pieces, these different components, how much control do you have of where this information goes, and do you have an answer for that, where it's going?
Yeah, so basically, because because we use the ChatGPT API, we do have the control over whether we want to pass on the data to ChatGPT for your training or not. So we do have the control over these things, and we have those kind of data, your privacy agreements with all the service providers that we use. And they're pretty strict out here because we are from the Netherlands, and here they have something called a GDPR, which is sort of a like very strict data privacy regulations, the strictest in the world. So we do take like privacy and your handling of user data very, very sincerely, because, and it's not just because of the regulations, but also because that's what we believe as a company, that you need to be as transparent and honest with what's happening with the data. There is options for people to offer us their data for your training if they want to, and we will use that in the most anonymized way, in the most sensitive way. We have like a practice for how to use such data for training, but it's always an opt-in situation. So you have to manually opt in to offer us your data. So it's not like we are automatically opted in and you have to opt out. So you have to opt in if you want us, if you want to offer us your data. But by your default, we do not store or just save any your data that is from a user.
That's good to
Okay.
hear, Karthik.
So from my understanding then, if someone wanted to take a picture of, say, their bank statements and ask Ally to find specific information, they would be safe to do that because you're not getting that information.
100%. So that is not stored on our end at all, unless a user has explicitly asked us to store it at our end.
I know we have a couple of minutes left, and then we want to go to some questions, but Bob, and give other people a chance to talk. But Bob, were you prepared to do any kind of demo or quick demo? I know
Sure.
you mentioned something earlier.
Sure.
Maybe with the app, or I don't know if you were using the glass.
Ally is available on iOS, Android, the glasses, as well as the web. You do have to go to ally.me and download and get that Ally version. But what I have here is on my iOS, I have Ally up and running. And now I have Zoe as my personality, and I've configured her to be like a Texan, since I'm in Texas. So she's going to talk with Texas colloquialisms and talk to us kind of like a ranch hand somewhat. Now, we don't have a Southern accent yet that I found, but right now. So I'm going to ask Zoe a quick question. I'm going to turn her on and I'm going to have her take a picture of my office, and she may say that I need to clean it up. So I'm going to.
Hi there.
Hi there, Zoe. Hey, could you tell me what my office looks like?
Let me take a look. Howdy, partner. Can I help you with something? Well, let me take a gander at what's in front of you, cowboy. It looks like you've got a real setup there with a keyboard, a monitor showing a Zoom meeting, and a bit of organized clutter on the desk, just enough to keep things interesting. Hope you've got some coffee to keep you going through that meeting. So long, partner. You'll come back now. Yeah, here.
All right, very good. So now,
Tap to mute button.
now I can continue talking to her, but I'm muted.
Right. So it's funny. So I told mine when I set mine up that I don't like sarcasm. I like jazz music, and I don't like coconut, and it keeps reminding me of that. So it gets to know you. It like you can personalize it however you want.
What's really cool for me is that I actually went to a restaurant and I didn't know what any of the food on the menu was. So I asked her, what kind of foods would I like off of this menu? And she gave me a whole list of things and told me, oh, but you wouldn't like these things because there's onions and peppers in them and you don't like those. So it was really cool.
So I know I definitely want to get to everyone's questions, and I know there's some ones on the side here. Are there any last things that you wanted to say, Karthik?
No, I would just encourage everybody to give it a try for yourself. So if you go to ally.me, that's ALLY.me, you can install it on iOS, Android, the web, or if you have Envision glasses, it's also available on there. And just give it a spin, talk to it, and you offer us your feedback. It's still pretty, you're like new, this kind of technology, and it's evolving at a immense pace. The kind of stuff we're able to do now, we were not able to do even a few months ago. So offer us your feedback and be somebody who can help you shape this technology, because this is the future. This is where things are heading in terms of technology. It's becoming more like conversational and more personal. So you install Ally and have a play with it and offer us your feedback as early as possible.
Bob?
Yes, and it is available on the glasses. So if any of our attendees are here, it's with the latest update on the professional glasses and with those with the home version with the 2025 plan, you do have Ally in the glasses, and it's easy as saying, Allie, and she'll come on. And when she's ready to go, she'll say hi or hey. And I'm ready to go. And I'm going to ask her, let's see. Hey, Allie, tell me about Wigman's grocery store.
You can ask something like, read what is in front of me. Speech off.
Yeah, I hear it low, but it says it's from Rochester, New York in 1916. Yeah, it's speaking from a microphone that sits next to your ear.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
oh, great.
So, and now I can basically interrupt her and say, hey, Allie, what is the customer service number for Wigman? What's the customer service number for Wigman's in New York City?
Yeah, I hear it.
Mm-hmm.
It's answering you.
If there's going to be one AI to play with, in my personal opinion, and obviously this is not a Lighthouse Guild opinion, it is my opinion, but this is the one to play with because you can just talk with it. It's like having a conversation with another person, and we're all able to do that. Like, there's no limit to us just talking with another person, and that's exactly what you're doing. You're just deciding, and if you don't like something, just tell her or him, whichever you choose, and they'll start course correcting themselves. So it's really nice. You're not stuck with anything you don't totally love. You just keep telling them, don't do that again.
Yeah, again, Chanel and I have been using it in beta for a while now, but it did get recently released at the recent CSUN Assistive Technology Conference that happens every year out in Anaheim. So it was really, really helpful. Actually, I used it. I had a friend use it with his guide dog to find the trash can after his dog went. So it actually helped find the trash. I mean, and it knows what you want when you want it to read something or when you want it to locate something, or as we did with Bob in the in your office, give you a scene description. So it's really coming along. As you said, AI is like a baby. I always say we're in the toddler phase. It's learning about us, and we're learning how to talk to and work with and play with it. So I want to thank you guys, really. Lighthouse Guild's telesupport programs, just email Carly at feldsteinc@lighthouseguild.org. And we do want to hear from you, so you can always email me at walenskyb@lighthouseguild.org.